Hello, friends. Good evening. I feel very happy to have with us someone from Nagaland who has a very nice voice, literally, and otherwise as well. And I requested her. I was last with her on a television panel. We were discussing on the Northeast, and since you all know my affinity and my love for the Northeast, I have always said that the most principled people, the people who keep their word, the best of friends, someone who can you can rely on, aag band karke, are all people from Northeast. When I say the people are from Northeast, I do not say Manipur, Nagaland, Mizoram, Arunachal, or any particular place. I say the entire Northeast. And it's quite sad that people in Delhi and all, they don't know much about the beauty of our great country of the Northeast. Well, Mano Konyak, Amna, as her friends lovingly call her, has been very kind to give her some time. And I would like to know from Amna the perspective about, because whatever happens in our neighborhood, we get affected. So I would like to know a Naga's perspective about what's happening in the state of Manipur. Amna, thank you very much for spending time, and Jai Hind.
Jane, uh, thank you for having me, and that was quite a description. Uh, Very effusive with words as usual. Major is. Uh, all I can say is, it's I okay. I mean, I wouldn't call it a Naga perspective per se, but as a citizen of India, a concerned citizen of India who looks forward. One second. There's a problem here.
No worries, there's a call. You can put it on DND. Even I'm using my phone, so you can put it on Do Not Disturb.
Okay. So I think we're having a current
Amna
shortage.
has a
No,
big
it's
fan
back. It's
following
back.
in the
It's back.
Northeast. Okay, so there's
It's
one of
back.
the fans who probably saw
Uh,
her and tried to call her. Anyhow, go ahead.
okay. So basically, as a concerned citizen of India and as somebody who is, been working in the field of media and, being a journalist myself, obviously, when there's something like this that disturbs the peace and tranquility of your people and the country and the nation. I mean, you as a concerned citizen will always be disturbed by such things. And one of the most disturbing thing about the current issue is how long this violence is being perpetuated by people, I believe, with vested interest. That this continues. And I think it's very sad that instead of trying to work towards a solution, because see, if you want to work towards a solution, it's a matter of a discussion. It's a matter of coming together on the table and discussing. If you really want something to happen, I doubt anything can stop it. If you want something to be done on the ground, it should not be such a hindrance, that it should not be such a problem that it goes on for months and months on end. And I think the saddest thing is it's the people on the ground who's paying the price, and no nation, society or community should be at the mercy of such such situations where you are hungry, you are literally without shelter, there's no security, and we're all living in the same country, be it Manipur, be it Nagaland, be it UP, Bihar. We're all living under the same country, and the same rule applies to every one of us. We have a right to live peacefully. We have a right to, be able to have shelter and be have enough food on our table. And this incident where people are suffering, people are getting killed daily, and none of us speaking a word about it, none of us doing anything about it, it should all prick our conscience. End of the day, we think that what is happening in our neighborhood or what is happening in a neighbor's house will not affect us. But if it continues, this kind of situation continues, you are for sure, be assured that it will spill over. It'll not take time, because if you look at all the battles, if you look at all the world wars, it starts off with a small, it's one light of a match, and when the violence continues, it is bound to spill. Now we are talking about maites and cookies, but if this continues, don't you think that somebody from other communities, somebody from someone staying there, don't you think that eventually something, if this continues, it will come to a point where it is going to disturb the peace of others, as others around us. So before something like that happens, it is a collective responsibility of concerned citizens to say that enough is enough and let's stop this. And I don't know why it's taking so long, because if people want, if leaders want there to be peace, or if leaders want to come to a decision, I don't think anything can stop it if it has to be done. But the fact that this is continuing is also, telling us a lot of things, that people are not interested in coming to a conclusion or a solution or bringing peace. So we need to understand who is behind this, who is not allowing peace to settle.
Very well said by you. You are right, 100%. I have a lot of cookie friends, a lot of Maite friends as well at the same time. I have friends from all, from Nagas, from their Tangkul friends, their Mao friends, in fact, their Baite, Paite. They are a lot of Pangal friends. I have friends from everywhere from Northeast. Very, very, very good friends, very dear friends. And I have pains me no end to see this. And you rightly said, one small spark can create a big forest fire. A small throw in the water can lead to a tsunami. And the World War, again, if you take the example of World War, it started off with a small assassination. I'm not a small
Of
assassination,
course.
just a small assassination. And then, of course, it went further and further and further. And US tried avoiding it for 4 years. They said, no, we'll not enter the World War. And only when some ships were destroyed of the US, and that is when the US stepped in. And then we all know, I mean, about the Pearl Harbor bombing and the Hiroshima
Pearl Harbor
Nagasaki bombing.
bombing, yes. Yes.
Yeah, it really went out of control. So, as per you, as a concerned citizen of the country, Amna, what do you think could be the way forward? How do we bring about peace? Because there was a time when Nagas and Cookies didn't get along. They were bitter and sore enemies. And it's not about community or a communal clash. It's about two different communities. I mean, it's not Hindus versus Christians. And Nagas and Cookies were both Christian when they were fighting. In fact, 97, 98, there was a very big clash between the Thadao speaking. Hello? Yes.
Hello.
So sorry. Hello? Yeah, so sorry. There was, that's the problem that happens when you use your mobile phone. I'm so sorry.
Mm.
Someone called and it's happened. Yeah, I'm so sorry. The Thada was speaking cookies, and then the cookies home. There was a big clash over there. And so, what do you think could be the? But they became friends later on. The Paites, uh, who are in Chachanpur, who have a Mizo connect, ultimately are inclined. They are affiliated towards the cookies. So, what do you think could be the way forward, Amna?
I think your audio has gone down, but I did hear you. I did hear you. Uh,
So,
the first thing here is to, I think the elephant in the room, I think we have to first face, or we have to first understand what exactly is going on. Secondly, people have to be willing for peace to come in. It's just about will. If you will it, it will happen. But now the problem with, like you rightly said, there has been a lot of ethnic, violence between cookies and Nagas, or cookies and I think the Mizos also at one point, I believe, and so on and so forth. Nagas and someone else, and we always have this kind of ethnic clashes, or this kind of small strifes keeps happening, obviously because of the diversity and nothing else. The country is so diverse that obviously sometimes there's always a friction when you put two different communities together. But the most important thing here is to understand that all of us have a right to live in peace. All of us have every community should be respected. Every community should respect each other, because all of us have a right to live peacefully. India is a diverse country, is, I mean something that we repeat. It is a diversity has in fact been our biggest strength so far. So the first thing is, I think, for the two communities, for the leaders to come together and to accept and admit the mistakes they've made. I think the Maites have already spoken, already accused. I think sorry, not all the Maites, but the leaders or some section of the Maite community has accused the Cookies of being, illegal immigrants, of being drug dealers, and there's a huge, accusations and allegations. So I think it's time for the Maites to come in and address issues I mean, issues like this kind of serious accusations, and where it stems from, and from the cookie community, to come around and ex- discuss why such things have happened with them, and why why was there a rally, what is their grievances, what is it they want from the government. And first of all, the willingness to come together on the table and speak. I think first of all you have to do that. I doubt they're even on talking terms now, according to the interviews of respective leaders. I don't think they're even on talking terms, because as of now what I have seen, as per the various interviews and media outlets, is that the cookies are very firm that we cannot, we cannot be with Maites as a community. It's not possible. This is what they say. And I mean, so is the feeling with Maites. The Maites are a lot, the leaders or a lot of people, or the Maites are sticking to their guns, saying that these are illegal immigrants. So the first thing is to accept each other as an integral part of the Manipur state and the community. Because if they are part of the state, both have their share, and both have their rights to the state. So it is wrong for either of the community to say that you are not a part of us. You are, second class citizens. That is absolutely wrong, because every community, every group, or every clan, or every sect plays a very important role in shaping the nation, in shaping the state, in shaping the community. So the first thing, like I said, was respect and accepting what has transpired, and a willingness to come to the table and talk, and to sort out differences, and to come to a solution. The will should be there. And I believe, as of now, what I see is there's no will to even, come and sit together. And I think that's a very scary situation, because it looks like they're very far away from the concept of, peace and harmony and living together. It's completely gone. And I look at their situation and I wonder, but then again, like you said, there have been a lot of ethnic strifes in the past. There have been violences, but the communities have been able to heal and come back. So I'm just hoping that this will happen with, Maites and cookies as well. I mean, obviously, now, since there's media, the violence and all this kind of, the situation obviously has, we've been able to access it and see what really is going on. But in the past, there may have been more violences, in the past, ethnic strifes, but we were not privy to it, or we did not have access to media. But this time we do, and maybe that's why, we feel that it's worst. But I hope that these two communities will sit down, because see, nothing is worth violence. Nothing is worth bloodshed. Nothing. Not land. Not your land. Not your your ST quota. These are not worth the lives and future of the community. The problem with our societies today is we put our selfish interest before the community and before the good of the general public and citizens. It all stems from selfishness. So if you're going to keep thinking that it's about me, it's about my family, it's about my relatives, it's about my clan, then if you're going to alienate the rest of the people. So I think they have to now weigh the options as to, do we lose the state and the integrity of the state for our selfish, purposes, or do we set aside our selfish, uh, ambitions, and come back to being a state, and come back to being, the beauty of Manipur as it was before this strife.
Very well said by you, Amna. Very well said by you. And I really appreciate your concern and your genuine feeling to actually bring peace to Manipur. Amna, thank you very much for your time. I truly appreciate. And as I said, ladies and gentlemen, you'll not believe it that Amna and I, we've never met in physical flesh and blood, but I already see a very, very dear friend in Amna. Amna, very sweet of you. And any before we part ways, before we let you go, any last message you would like to give out into the universe, Amna?
I think right now we're seeing a lot of, especially with our country. I mean, I don't want to talk about other countries, because my first interest is our country and our nation. And I want to say this to the rest of the our brothers and sisters across this nation, that hate is a very weak emotion. Anybody can feel hate, but to rise above the hate and differences, and to be able to accept all community, all society, all people across this nation that makes India such a beautiful, colorful and such a diverse nation, which I think everybody admires. To go back to that, I think we need to rise above hate and bitterness, and violence. And then we can call ourselves true citizens and true human beings. So I think this is what I want all of us to, preach and practice as citizens of this country.
Very well said by you, Amna. Amna, thank you very much. I'm truly grateful to you for your time and take
Thank you
care.
for
Jai
having
Hind,
me.
Amna.
Thank you for having me, Jay Hind.
Let's go off.